Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are. On the face of this very planet, once again, this very glorious evening of the 21st day, Sunday the 21st day of June, in the year of our Most High Elohim, Chukwukika Biama Primi Yanine 2020, with the time now standing at exactly 6 minutes past 7 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. I welcome each and every one of you, and as I do so, I will, or should I say, should encourage you to welcome all those who are around you. Because this very live presentation is going out to you in every time zone on the surface of this very planet. If you are dedicated, if you are serious, if you want to extricate yourself from the pain and the suffering, if you want to escape the damnability of the zoological republic, you must be listening to us at this precise moment. If you are not, you are doing yourself a great disservice. Here we have come to preach the truth, unadulterated gospel of redemption. Some may not like it. As I said during my last broadcast of precisely 7 days ago on Sunday, I did say that it was Armageddon. After that very broadcast, that things will no longer be the same. And once again, we have been proven right, and things are not the same. All the workers of iniquity, all those who are blinded by what I call religious buffoonery, they have all been confounded. They are running from pillar to post. They are confused, as I knew they would be confused, because they cannot see in the spirit. They are blind. Things of the spirit are lost on them. But this very day we shall continue. As I said during my earlier post, if you know that those of you who are of, should I say, weak constitution are listening, then I will seriously encourage you to disengage, because the program tonight, it may not be as hot as it was 7 days ago, but I can assure you it won't make for palatable listening for a great majority of you. But we must proceed all the same. I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because the whole world is listening. The whole world is listening. Before I came here on air, I did get a confirmation from Facebook that they are seriously suppressing and interrupting, should I say, people visiting to my page. They are doing all they can to make our work impossible. But they will always fail as they have failed previously. We are live on satellite. Those of you with strong decoder should be able to listen to us, which is what most of you are using in Abuja anyway. If you are in Biafra land, you will listen to us. If you're fortunate enough, via FM, one of our CHKs that is broadcasting in the land of Biafra. If you have a smart device, which most of you do have, you can listen to me by going to my page on Facebook, MAZI KANU. I have nearly about, say, 300,000 likes, so you shouldn't be able to miss it. There are a few other ones set up by DSS to try to lure people away, to try to confuse people, but have failed. The same way that every enemy we encounter crumbles, that is how they too have crumbled. We are also on Radio Biafra app, and very soon we are also going to be on IPOB app as well. Right now we are on Radio Biafra app. You can get us via tuning. You can also get us via Sweet Radio. You can get us via, all these names I'm mentioning, just Google them. Log in, just search for Radio Biafra. You'll be listening to my voice immediately. Some of us have decided to stream us live also on YouTube, which I understand is the means through which most of you are listening. And I will encourage you to also go to Garden Radio as well. In all these places, you will be able to hear us this evening live and direct. I say evening because of where I'm domiciled this evening, the same time as you have in the land of Biafra. My name is NNAMDI. I am the leader of IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra all over this planet. We are in over 100 countries and counting. We are the largest mass movement on the surface of this very earth, bar none. We are a juggernaut, unstoppable. There is nothing anybody can do, not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We are unstoppable. Our march is towards Biafra, to restore Biafra, nothing more, nothing less. And this very generation of IPOB will accomplish it. Do you want to know why we will accomplish it? Because we always put Chukwukika Abiyama first. God Almighty in heaven is number one. That is why we worship him and him alone. That is why we bow not down before any idol. And I'm never Harrison. I don't worship idol. And because of that, Elohim said, as long as you proclaim my name in every truth and every honesty, Biafra will come in your time. And because his words are yea and amen, anything he says must come to pass. That is why we have stuck only onto this path of redemption, in truth and in every honesty. That heaven and earth may bear us witness that they came and they proclaimed the salvation of God Almighty in heaven. Their cries and their prayers were listened to, and they were set free. When I say that this is the last miracle on the face of this very earth, I meant it. And with everything that's happening around us, you now understand the enormity of the task that awaits us. What we must do to be free. That is why we are gathered this evening, morning, afternoon, night, depending on where you are. Because for those in Japan, I think it's about 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. For those in Malaysia, Indonesia, I think maybe it's about 2 a.m. in the morning or thereabout. For those of you in Los Angeles, it is 10 a.m. in the morning of Sunday. That's how it is, because the world keeps rotating all the time. When it is your morning in your time zone, it could be somebody's tea time, it could be somebody's breakfast, it could be somebody else's dinner, somewhere. That's how the world rolls. It waits for no one. When they say time waits for no one, is because regardless of what happens, the earth will keep rotating around the sun. It will never stop. Every blessed day, the earth is rotating at over 1,000 miles per hour. But you don't feel it. Because the grace and the miracle of creation is with us. Elohim is with us, and we must worship him. This very evening, as we have always done. But I am going to pray a slightly different prayer in the language of heaven. Igbo language is the language of heaven, the oldest language on the face of the earth by none. Everything I say, I have proof. I don't say something that I don't know. Everything I say, there is proof. And I'm also going to prove it to all of you tonight, should you dare or challenge me to do so. And I'm going to pray. I wouldn't call it a prayer. It is a prayer, of course, because we're requesting something from heaven. We are going to pray a prayer of the 10 Commandments. And do you know why we pray this prayer? Because even those that founded the USA, United States of America, if you go to some areas in the USA, you will see a tablet proclaiming the 10 Commandments. And why is it very important that we pray this evening, alluding to the 10 Commandments? Because that will be the very basic foundation upon which Biafra will rest. I repeat, the 10 Commandments of God that nobody disputes, not even Islam, everybody believes in it. That is the pillar upon which we are going to rest this new Biafra. That is my promise to God in heaven. And this evening I will affirm it. Biafra will be a godly nation. Secular, yes, because you can practice whatever you want to practice, but it must be anchored on God. We don't answer Machuku for nothing. We don't call ourselves Umuchileke for nothing. It is for a purpose, a divine purpose. That purpose is that Biafra will come in our time. And the pillars that will hold Biafra is the mercy of God Almighty in heaven. Unashamedly, I proclaim, because I know the whole world is listening. They want to know the type of Biafra we're going to build. And I'm telling them this very day that Biafra will be a godly nation, anchored on the core values and principles surrounding the 10 Commandments that was given to Moshe on Mount Sinai. Unashamedly so, I say. And please, if you bow down your heads wherever you are, we are going to pray. Our enemies are not resting. We don't expect them to rest. But we must continue to preach this very gospel. The gospel of truth, of redemption, and of honesty. This very gospel of freedom. Ezi onye nwanyị na Chineke na nke pụrụ m ihe niile Chukwu okike abịa mgbe anyị na-efe na isi ala nye. Onye ike niile nọ n'ọbadara aka onye ọbụla na ya na-achị. Onye na-eburu ndị ihu zuo eburu ha azụ. Onye ọbụla na ya bụ ihe nke na-acha n'ime ndụ ndị a n'ụbọchị nke taa. Ụmụ ga-agbakọ n'ụwa niile na-egeghị ntị onye nwe m. Ka anyị wee zie ha ozi nke iziri anyị na mmụọ ka anyị wee gbasaa. Isi anyị atụla egwu, anyị asụla ngọngọ, anyị alaghị azụ. Anyị atụla egwu mmadụ ọbụla. N'ihi na eziokwu ị ga-adịrịrị ma ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Na ọ kakwa mma na eluigwe n'ụwa wee bịa n'isi njedebe. Mana ọ bụlarị na okwu wee bịa na mmezu nna nke bere dị ngọzi. Anyị wee na-akpụ isi ala anyị wee na-aja ya ma wee na-ebuli gị elu na-asị gị nwee nyere ka gị Chineke na dị ngọzi. Ụmụ gị wee na-akpọku n'ụwa niile na-asị na ede nsọ Chineke nna. Anyị wee na-ekpere gị ekpere n'uhuruchi ya. Ụfọdụ n'ime anyị ọ bụ ụtụtụ anyị ọ bụ ehihie ọba ime anyasị anyị. Wee na-arịọ gị amara gị na ebere gị ma mma gị ọmịiko gị ebe ụmụ gị nọ n'ụwa niile bụ ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra. Ka iwe gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka wee zọpụta anyị n'aka ajọ ihe. Ka i were aka nri nke ezi omume wee kwagide ụmụ IPOB ebe ọbụla ha nọ n'elu ụwa nna nke bere dị ngọzi. Wee gọzie ọlụ aka ha wee gọzie ha onwe ha na ezinụlọ ha. Tụmadụ ndị nna niile. Ebe ụbọchị nketa ụbọchị ncheta ndị nna onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe biko nụ. Gbaa ha ume. Nye ha nkasi obi. Nyekwa ha ikikere. Nye ha mmụọ nke eziokwu. Nye ha ezi mmụọ nke nghọta. Ka ọ ga-abụ ha nụ eziokwu gị nna nke ebere ka ha wee nabata ya. Na anyị wee na-akpọkọ wee na-arịọ gị nna nke igwe na-asị na anyị ekwupụta ka ụwa niile wee nụrụ na Biafra na-abịa dịka isi wee kwa anyị na nkwa. Anyị na-akpọkọ gị na-asị gị ị ga-enye anyị n'ime afọ anyị nọ n'ime ya. Ị ga-enye anyị Biafra n'ime afọ a 2020 anyị nọ n'ime onye nwe m na Chineke nna. N'ihi na ijide obodo gosipụ zoom ala ya n'iyi. Biafra bụ onyinye nke gị nke ị nyere ụmụ mmadụ dị ndụ. Anyị ga-ewere ya nna nke igwe were ya fee ofufe n'ụzọ pụrụ iche. Ihe anaghị eme anyị ikwupụta nke bụ eziokwu ga-esebube dị ngọzi wee na-ekwu ya ma na-ekwusi ya ike si na anyị onwe anyị bụ ụmụ Biafra bụ ụmụ Chineke ka anyị bụ. Anyị anaghị efe arụsị. Ụmụ gị ka anyị bụ onye nwe m. N'ihi na onweghị onye ọbụla ala nsọ Biafra na-aza aha arụsị ọ bụ na anaghị ka anyị na-efe. Anyị na-aza Chinedu. Anyị na-aza Amara Chukwu. Ụmụ gị na-aza Ike Chukwu. Ụmụ gị na-aza Chukwu na-enye. Ụzọ niile dị iche iche ka anyị si wee na-ebuli aha nsọ gị elu site na aha nke anyị na-aza. Anyị wee na-ekweghị nkwa nna nke ebere dị ngọzi n'ihu ụwa niile bụ ndị na-ege anyị ntị na anyị ga-ewere Biafra nna nke igwe wee guzo ya n'elu iwu iri nke nyere nna nke ebere dị ngọzi. N'ihi na ọnwa mgbe ụmụ gị bụ ndị Izrel na mkpagbu n'obodo Ijipt, iwe zie ozi wee sị na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Chineke nna nke niile nke ndị agha, na ha ndị dị etu a bụ ụmụ gị ha ga-enwecha ọzọ wee tinyere gị. Ha ga-akpụ isi ala wee nye arụsị ọbụla ma ofufe ya ofufe. N'ihi na gị onwe gị bụ Chineke nna dị ngọzi. Ị chọrọ onye ọbụla gị na ya ga-ama aka n'ihu. Ị na-eweta atamahụ n'isi ndị niile ruo ọgbọ ha nke atọ na anọdụ bụ ndị kpọrọ gị asị. Mana ịhụnanya gị na-adịgide n'isi niile ruo ọhụụ na 10 bụ ndị dị etu a bụ ezinụlọ ndị hụrụ anya ma na-edebe iwu gị. Isi anyị ejikwala ha nsọ ya eme akaja. N'ihi na gị onwe gị bụ onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna dị ngọzi. Na ị gaghị agbaghara ka ha ara bụ ndị ji ahụ ewe n'ala ya n'iyi. Isi anyị cheta ụbọchị asaa n'ime izu ụka ma doo ya nsọ n'abalị 6 Kamara didn't do mortgage where one ablasa, which is Miko Pajopani. Nobody did to moon or any money on or blood on one in the zone or Bundio Cabin in a Balisi, Kadomo, one you may live when a low one. Nemo coach me and my Balanca sideways week. All the young lady will go so, but a son, Mizuka, to Yanson. It's an Epoyan and then you can find with the Galasso can keep running number. It's an able man and when you can use Lusanabla by the Muddy Bani, and the Brian is on a walk also. When massive and Munya were back on a ban and getting the Kabu Egyptian and Kiwe, and come a copter, no one in each way, man, candidate to work, eh? No, none of you put you like a Bonani Neff. When you run in New Zealand. Come again, a break away, so can you mend one? Can you want you put in the way, Bullia house, so you drag Mamma to you? Send a big Marone. He said, Mamma the Richmaker. We now proceed to unveil the truth this very day, that the world may know, because the zoo is crumbling. It has crumbled already. What happened in Ghana yesterday is just confirmation. Because this very year, the zoo will be decimated beyond human comprehension or recognition. Never again will the zoo exist. It's gone. We have not done anything. We have not commenced our march. We have not confronted the Janjaweed terrorists who are in our forests and in our farms. We have not gone out to meet those who are killing us. Yet the zoo is unraveling before our eyes. As always, I will endeavor to wrap every of our discussion this evening around a very common theme. And that theme is that if out of, should I say, a habit of treachery or a lifetime of betrayal, you fail to recognize the importance of the time that we are living in, then may the good Lord have mercy upon you. I need you to understand this very clearly. Because as I say always, we are a highly religious, I say godly people, let me put it that way. Some have turned it into modern day religiosity. What I want to make you understand this very evening is this: that every problem afflicting us as a people, as a race, is our own making. Every difficulty that we Biafrans are undergoing right now is our own making. And we trace it back to one common, or should I say, a simple denominator. And that denominator is slavery, kidnapping in modern parlance, and slavery, which the whole world is now running around trying to atone for. Before we came on air, we understand that the Church of England, of all places, Anglican Church, was involved in slavery. I will tell you the truth. And quite frankly, I don't give a damn if you like it. If you don't like it, go and do your research. Also, the Bank of England said they are apologizing for their role in slavery. And I want to tell you why we are in this mess we are in today. Those of you who are very close to your scriptures, those of you that have the Bible or even the Quran with you, I want you to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 16. Exodus 21, 16. That is the genesis of our problem as a race. This suffering we are suffering today, if you go back to the Holy Book, if you go back to the Bible, it is there. That was the beginning of our problem. Everything afflicting black people in America, every pain, every shame, every dishonor, you can trace it back to this in the book of Exodus 21:16. And before we proceed any further, you will also understand that every time we say we are in the land of Egypt, that the zoo called Nigeria is the land of Egypt. And I encourage you, if they kick you out of my page, We are on YouTube. You can go to Radio Biafra page as well. Because I know they will do the best they can to suppress us. That's what they will do. But the world is listening. After this program, by the end of this program, nearly 2 million people will have listened to it live. 2 million will listen to it live. So that is why we are not bothered. That is why we are not concerned. That is why we will continue to do everything humanly possible to preach this very gospel of redemption. Exodus 21 verse 16. I want to let the whole world understand. I want to let the whole world know where our problems started from, that they may know the truth, and that truth will set them free. Once you commit this crime, once you commit this very crime, you must be punished. Your race will be punished. God will never ever forgive you until you are punished. I want to let the whole world understand that those of us who are the children of light, those of us that supply the bulk of slaves to South America, the Caribbean, and North America, the entire West Africa was more or less emptied. The most prized slaves are those that came from Biafra land. Go and check the books. You will see it and you would know. Do you know what the Bible says in Exodus 21:16? Very, very frightening. About kidnapping your people and selling them. It says that he who kidnaps a man, whether he sells him as a slave, remember? Those who are bragging that they are slave traders, they are slave dealers. I want to let you understand the reason why Niger Delta is in darkness this evening. More than any other place. Nigeria is darkness itself. Then inside that darkness there is a place that some people ignorantly refer to as Niger Delta. I want you to know the reason why they are even suffering more than every other person in the zoo called Nigeria. It is in the Bible. As I told you before, Elohim gives us message to give to the living, and it is my duty and solemn responsibility to pass that on. Listen carefully. He who kidnaps a man, whether he sells him as a slave or you keep that very person, a fellow human being, your brother or your sister, you will surely be put to death. If nobody can kill you, God in heaven will kill you, because those are his words. He that stealeth a man, or selleth him, or is found in his hands, he will surely be put to death. We cannot put ourselves to death because we sold our own people, first to the Arabs and then to Europeans. That is why God is today dealing with us. When they kill somebody, you campaign and you say Black Lives Matter, or Black Lives Matters. What you're saying is that I have sinned against God in heaven because we sold our own people as slaves. And why is Niger Delta suffering more than any other place that is happening like there is no tangible, meaningful development? It's because go and check in the coastal, I wouldn't call it Niger Delta, that's not the name. The name is the coastal region of Biafra land. Go to the coastal region of Biafra land and see for yourselves. The people suffering most from the coastal region of Biafra, God in heaven is against. Not just there. I want you to also go to the book of Deuteronomy 24:7. To the book of Deuteronomy 24:7. If you go there, you will see what is happening. If you go there, you will understand what is happening. And the reason why you shouldn't be kidnapping people. Because once you do that, once you kidnap somebody, you are bringing a curse not just upon yourself and your family, your generation as well. That is why it is absolutely critical that in the next coming weeks and months, when we come to confront the enemies who are within, the Janjaweed that have come from all over the Sahel to take over our land, that we understand this. It is a cardinal rule. It is a cardinal principle that can never, ever, ever be breached. Because black people sold their own kind, that is why the world is treating them like the animals that some of them are. That is why the world is treating them the animals that some of them are. If you go back to the book of Genesis, I am sorry to dwell on this, but it is very, very critical you understand it. If you go back to the book of Genesis, why did the Israelites suffer in Egypt? It was because the house of Jacob, they sold their brother Joseph. The same thing that God himself was against was what they did. They sold him to the Ishmaelite merchants. The same thing that we did in the land of Biafra. The same thing that we did selling our own people, our own kind, first to Arabs and then to Europeans. And you expect God to love you. It is impossible. You must pay for it. And that punishment is what we are in right now. That was why Elohim, in his infinite mercy and kindness, decided to... Isn't it very funny that the same people that we sold our people to, they come back, they conquered us. And they gave us their religion. Very, very sad indeed. Do you see how the punishment goes? The same thing that happened to the temple in Israel. When they started to worship idol, God went and brought all those nations that they were worshiping their idols to come and conquer Israel one after the other. And sack them. And on the pain of death, threatened never ever to worship God in truth and honesty anymore. Until they spent over 2,000 years in exile. Millions dead before they cried, and God heard their cry and decided to deliver them in 1948. This Israel you're looking at only came into existence again in 1948. Since the time of Christ. Only 1948. Less than 100 years ago. The Israel I've been hearing about never existed for over 2,000 years. It only came into existence only in 1948, less than 100 years ago. And that is the understanding I want all of you to have as we delve into the main substance of our gospel this very evening. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that people who you're more educated than, more enlightened than, are controlling you? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Why is it that some of you never pause to even think nor ponder the absurdity that people that drive cattle from place to place, they are not very fluid in their own language. They cannot communicate very well in the lingua franca, which is English language, but they are in control of your lives. Have you ever wondered why? Do you know why the British gave power over to the Janjaweed, to the Caliphate? All are in the design of God in heaven to punish you for the things that you have done. But now that we have owned consistently for nearly 7 years, you are about to witness the might and the glory of God this very year upon the lives of his children. That when Biafra comes, you will know to worship God forever and ever. This year. You just watch and see. Because in the zoo, I want to start with their cutoff mark is out. And can you believe that in Nigeria, you need to score 130 if you're a male, 130 if you're a female, to qualify for school, which is the federal government secondary school. Now, in Abia, this is one Nigeria for you. What is paining me is not that the Janjaweed are doing this and the Yorubas are supporting them. What is actually getting me angry is that our people, after seeing this level of entrenched injustice, year in, year out, month in, month out, somebody will still have the temerity to stand up and say, we want a restructured Nigeria, we want to be in Nigeria. I want you to understand the level of, oh my goodness, idiocy in the brains of these people that open their mouth to talk about one Nigeria. And we are all going to ask them a question this evening. Can you tell me the reason why the state, the reason why Imo State is 138? Why is it that in Osun State is 127? In Ondo State is 126. In Ogun is 131. Whereas in Taraba, in Yobe, You only need to score 3 or 2. You went into an exam hall with your fellow countryman or countrywoman and you wrote the same exam and you came out and the examiners are telling you that if you come from Yobe State, if you come from Zamfara, if you come from Taraba, if you come from Sokoto, the only thing you need to score is 9 to be considered as somebody who have now passed that very exams. And for their females, because in Sokoto apparently the women go to school more than the men. Only 13. If you score 13, you qualify. After going to unity school, having scored only 2 marks. 2 marks means in Yobe State, once you go into the examination hall, you write your name, Bashir Audu. You come out, you have passed. Whereas in other places, in Ogun State, in Kwara State, for instance, in Enugu, in Ebonyi, in Delta, you must score over 110 to be considered. So somebody walks into an examination hall and writes his or her name from Yobe. They come out and they are qualified to go. And you are in one Nigeria. Now my concern is this. Are you telling me that your pastors are not saying this? Are you telling me that those that claim they are part of this Let's Keep Nigeria One, are they not seeing this injustice? Those that came out to protest for Black Lives Matter, don't they see this? Those that claim they have NGOs and fighting for equality, don't they see this? I'm asking, don't the British High Commissioner see this? Don't the US Ambassador understand what is going on? Are you telling me that the German ambassador is unaware of what is happening? Are you telling me that all the missions of every civilized nation to the zoo called Nigeria, are you telling me that they're not aware of this very broad daylight, blatant discrimination? Now I'm asking you, those that want us to this, therefore, are you asking me to be part of one Nigeria? On what basis? This is why a lot of our men spend their time gossiping. They attack the issue. I want to ask every senator, every House of Reps member, in which country of this world do you have not just but triple standard? One standard for Sokoto, for Abuja, for Katsina, for KANU, for Kaduna, for Jawa, and the one for those in Imo, Abia, Cross River, Ogun, Oshun. I ask you therefore, based on what is happening, these are our children, those going to secondary schools. These are little children, the ages of 10 and 11. So, from that very age, you are telling them that they do not matter, that they have to aspire, not to be excellent. Because if there is no incentive, if somebody who scores only 2 marks from Yobe can go to unity school, there is incentive for studying to score over 130 or 134 as the case may be for Enugu and Imo. Just explain that to me. But you have senators, you have lawmakers, you have those championing one Nigeria, saying Nigeria used to be great, it will be great again. How can it be great? How can you subscribe to be in a society where somebody from somewhere, because they are janjaweed, they don't go to school, they sniff glue from morning till night, they move cattle from place to place, they only score 2. All they need to remember when they go into the exam hall is their name, and they have passed. Is that very fair? Is that how to run any country? And why are those who should be speaking out not speaking out? There are a rented mob of, should I say, unemployed and slightly educated fools in Abuja. You know what I always write petition. If you see their shirt, they always have blue pen, red pen, and black pen. They, you know that plastic beak, they line it up. That's their petition writers. That's what they do. Hawking, should I say, their ERAT services to anybody who is willing to pay them top money. Do you see what they have done to you? Your own children have to score higher than them, but they want to be president. So you're telling me that somebody who is half educated, who can barely mention his name, is worthy to be President after president after president of a damnable contraption, whereas those who are educated from the South just sit on the sidelines and just watch. And you're telling me that everything is, you know it and I know it. Now the question is, what are you doing about it? We know what we are doing. All of you talking about one Nigeria. I want to ask you, is it in the education system? Is it in the, which aspect of life is salvageable in Nigeria? I said, which aspect is salvageable? Which aspect is salvageable? There's none. Killers are coming into your country, and this man that is being interviewed by channels is saying, presidency. Where is that hard man, Buhari? You say, oh, his insurgency. Insurgency will come. He's a hard man. He's a general. Where is he? Have you seen how cleverly channels no longer talks about Buhari? Oh, where is the president? It's not presidency. Now, after all these pointers, what again is stopping you people from understanding that you have no president? Do you know the meaning of an embassy? An embassy is a foreign land. Let me put it this way. Let me not use an abstract explanation. Anytime you go to the U.S. embassy or their in Abuja or their consulate in Lagos, once you walk into that premises, you are on U.S. soil. Nigerian government cannot come there to look for you. Remember Chile when Assange ran into Chilean embassy in London? Did Metropolitan Police go there to arrest him? No. Did the army go there? No. Because that piece of territory is Chile. You can't go in there. International diplomatic protocol. Now, once you invade an embassy, it is tantamount to the violation of that country's sovereignty. That is how important it is. For the embassy not to be invaded or no, it was demolished. The Zoo High Commission in Accra was demolished. You have not heard anything from the president of a country whose land was invaded. What does that tell you? Do you see why I am angry with all these fake pastors that are fixated on tithes and offering? Do you see the reason why? Tell me why a country, if you doubt me, go and invade the U.S. embassy in Abuja. Trump, as you're invading, the president of America will be talking immediately. Go and try it anywhere in the world. But you're telling me that the embassy, let me call it an embassy, the embassy of Nigeria was demolished in Accra. The president did not say anything because there is no president. Absolutely none. None whatsoever. Headsmen are coming in, they're killing. Do you now understand my anger against these people? This is what I'm talking about, the brain of a black man, inability to discern, to reason, to think. People don't even know about what an embassy is. They don't know the sanctity of an embassy. They don't understand it. You think it's just where you go and get visa and you travel. Or where you go and get your passport renewed. Do you know the meaning of an embassy? That piece of embassy in... Who are these people, for goodness sake? Who are they? What sort of human beings are these? They never listen, they don't think, they don't reason. These are the people in the zoo we are talking about. And that is why we must leave the zoo as imminently as possible. Because some of our people, they don't reason anymore. They reason like the janjaweed. Why they are calling, I have no idea. Why they are calling, I have no idea. But they will call anyway. They will call. That is who they are. That is the way they reason. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by that caller who is not paying attention. They're not listening. Because if he's listening, why would he be calling when the lines are not open yet? Why would they be calling? Do you see the reason why blacks are in a mess? Do you now understand it? Why we are in a mess? Do you see the reason why the Fulanis do whatever they can and get away? Because every ambassador in the zoo has been bribed. UK, US, Germany, all they are there for is how much they can loot. As your politicians are looting, so are they looting as well. Since you want to destroy yourselves, we'll help you destroy yourselves. That's what they're doing. Do you now understand it? Do you understand it now? The mess that people are in. The building block for every society, so to speak, is fairness, equity and fairness. What is the fairness in having different cut-off marks? Not just maybe 10 or 15 or 20. I have to get 134 from Imo State to go to school. But somebody that is a Janjaweed from the north will need to score 2. And when you have them as president, as finance minister, as the head of strategy and planning in the Ministry of Finance, as the head of budget, you want your country to move forward, to be like Singapore, to be maybe like India, to be growing. Are you not insane? Because from their education, you shall know them. I have said it before and I'm going to say it, that the reason why we are so messed up the way we are is because we are in darkness. Some of you born into darkness. I was born a Biafran. Some of you are born into darkness, so you don't know any better. And we are the light of the world. I say it because every Abrahamic faith that you have, the 3 great religions of the world, which is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, everybody alludes to the fact that God is light. I said everybody. From the Old Testament to the New to the Quran, everybody acknowledges that God is light. And you come from a place called darkness, and you want your lives to be better. How can it be better? In the book of Isaiah 60, 19 to 20 says this there very clearly, that Elohim will be your everlasting light, and your days of sorrow will come to an end. We know what we are doing. Sometimes, if you don't understand it, just say you don't understand. Is it the book of Psalm 97:11, that the light shines on the righteous and joy on the upright in heart? Everything is about light. Everything is about light. It is everywhere. All the way to the book of John 1:15. It is Ecclesiastes 11:7. Everywhere is replete with what light represents. That light shines in darkness, and darkness can never overcome it. We are the light. We Biafrans, we are the light. And as the name implies, Nigeria, which means a darkened black territory, can never ever prevail over us. Do you see where we anchor our agitation? On the promise of God. When I say we are anchoring our agitation on the promise of God, people don't understand it. They think we are being too religious now. I studied both the Old Testament that underpins Judaism, New Testament that underpins Christianity. I even went to Quran. Do you know I'm studying Quran? And I found the same thing. And I wish I can tell it to you. The place we found in the Quran is Surah An-Nur 24:35. Surah S-U-R-A-H An Nur. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Do you know what it says there? That Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. That God is light. Do you see why we call ourselves Umuchineke? Even in Islam, they know who we are. That we are the children of light. Do you understand it? Because this Surah An-Nur 24-35 says, I'm now quoting Quran for you so you understand it. Because we are scholars, we read. I'm quoting Quran for you so you know. God is the light of the heavens and the earth. The example of his light, wherein is a lamp. The lamp is in a crystal, and the crystal shining as if it is like a pearl, like a radiant star, lit from the oil of a blessed olive tree that is neither of the east nor of the west. That little name you answer in people don't know the meaning of it. Light in here that we answer in our villages, you have no idea. I'm telling you that every major religion in the world recognizes who you are, but it's only you that don't know who you are. That is why you're subjecting yourself to a contraption built by a man, built by the hands of a man. Look at. children of God, submitting, instead of you to submit yourself to the creation of the Almighty, you are submitting yourself to the creation of a mortal. Very shameful and very disgraceful. But we are here to correct you. And as a result of that, you will remain in mourning. That is why we have been suffering from day one. They keep shrinking us. They have now shrunk us so much that if you ask a typical idiot in Abuja, where is the Southeast? Igbo land, the Southeast. The 5 states. Because of that pain and suffering that we are undergoing, that was why Elohim Chukwu Biama made us blind. We have forgotten there are Igbo people in Kogi. We forgot there are Igbo people in Benue. We forgot there are Igbo people in Cross River. We forgot there are Igbo people in Akwa Ibom. We forgot there are Igbo people in Bayelsa. Yes, Bayelsa. Yes. We forgot they took Igbo people away from us in Rivers. Took them away from us in Delta. Took them away from us in Edo. Now, are you feeling what I'm saying? Because we have become blind. We no longer seek the face of God Almighty in heaven. As our name says, I say what I say because of what our name says is who we are. Onyinye Chineke. Onyinye. That is our name. That is our own name that God gave to us because we represent the light. The name is everywhere. All the way from Anambra, which is the capital of Igbo land, all the way, every part you have in here. Everybody answers light in here, light everywhere. And then you come and you cocoon yourself in darkness, that is the zoo, and you want God to bless you. God cannot bless you in Nigeria. It's not possible. It is impossible. If you like, remain in Nigeria for 1 trillion years, God will never ever bless a Biafran. Individually, you may be rich, maybe like maybe Ibet or innocent or whatever. You may be boy to Janjaweed and they give you something and allow your business to thrive. But the road that leads to your village will be a death trap. You will encounter severe strife. You will encounter pain. You will see suffering on the faces of those that will come to your house every morning. Your life will never be complete if you don't know. Now listen to what is happening to us. There is no lockdown in the north. No lockdown in the north. In Biafra land, they said we should lock down. We should go indoors and stay indoors and lock down. Yes? And now let me tell you what is happening as a result of that. Let me tell you what's happening as a result of that. Listen carefully. Listen. She's speaking Igbo language and of course Ngwa dialect. They said it at home. So everybody's at home now, as usual. Now look at how we are being dealt with, how we are being punished. To tell you that the hand of God is in what is happening to us. I'm being honest with you. People who are not in the spirit cannot understand what we're saying. You can never ever understand what we are saying. Because we are now preaching the truth. That is why every force of darkness have now come to fight us. Including Facebook. And I want it to be posted. Where Facebook openly wrote to me and said, we disagree with this your post that you made. We are limiting, which means suppressing the number of people that will see it. And that's exactly what they're doing today. And who are those doing it? Yoruba people working for Facebook. Black people doing this. Do you now understand the mess? When I tell you that the heart of a black man is evil, people say, oh, you're elevating whites and talking down on black people. But all the evil happening, the people suppressing not just mine, every active IPOB family member on social media, on Facebook, his or her account is being suppressed. Have you asked yourself why? And those who are doing it. Do you think it is Zuckerberg in California doing it? No. They got a contract from Nigeria. They took the money. They hired Yoruba people to put them there to be doing it. The same way they hired Fulani people to be managing BBC Igbo for them. The production manager, the program manager for BBC Igbo. Are you aware of that? Our enemies are plentiful, but we are going to prevail. I'm telling you without any doubt. We have prevailed already. I say without any doubt, we have prevailed. What they don't know is that Facebook doesn't control YouTube. We are just streaming live. They don't have live. We are not like live. They cannot tell you what to do. They cannot tell Sweet Radio what to do. They cannot tell Simple Radio what to do. They cannot tell Radio do. In all these platforms, people are listening to us. That's how they look. That's how we work. Let us listen to our mother. Biafran bombers are saying, sit down, go out, he will kill you. Meanwhile, the guy is coming from north. Listen to our mother. I'll not for please. Don't listen to her. Yes, ma'am. Your brother come. In our own land, our mothers go to the farm, they say, if you come close, we'll kill you. We'll rape you and we'll kill you. They don't brought their light. We're going to say, sit at home. Our farms are now fertile grounds for rape and murder, destruction of farm produce in our own land, in the land of the rising sun, the very center of the universe. I wouldn't say it, but I'll say the earth. Can you believe that? These orphans, these are so-called political leaders. They foolishly call themselves elite. Do you see what they're doing to you? Do you see why they hate IPOB? Do you see why they don't want us to survive? Because of the truth. This is our mother in the village. Who will hear her voice if not for us? Who will hear the voice of this woman if not for us? Let's listen. They brought their cattle into our farms. They basically destroyed the farm produce. They have guns. They have guns and knives. Our mothers can no longer go to the farm. As I told you, in the year 2013, I said, a time will come, they will rape your daughters. Your mothers will be afraid to go out. I told you, I warned you. But you won't listen. You're doing one Nigeria. Have you want to be one Nigeria? So want to be one. Have you seen your one Nigeria? Have you seen the result? I see where the idiot is. Have you seen the result of your one Nigeria? Have you seen the damage that's done to us psychologically? Our mothers, because where we come from, our mothers don't go to the gym. They don't go to old people's home. They go to the farm. It's a form of exercise. They can no longer go to the farms. In our own land, in our own time, 2020. People are running about, I'm American, I'm evil. This thing, the KANU is doing with IPOB. Listen to our mother in the village. Because you're in Abuja, as an idiot that you are, you're in Abuja, fooling yourselves. You're in Lagos, fooling yourselves. As our mothers are in the villages, afraid to go to the farm. They are dying of hunger. They cannot go to the farm. These are our mothers. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? And people are doing, they are doing, Houston. They are doing Igbo Offa. That's an Offa in America. This Igbo village in America. But that's the one for the village. And the mothers cannot go to the farm. And they have no shame. They are not ashamed of themselves. And when that man looks at this thing that's happening, because you have no shame, that is why they treat you the way they treat you. You have no class and you have no shame. That's your mother in the village. And you are in America and you're in Europe. Talking about one Nigeria. Let's move the country. Let us try and move the country forward and see what happens. You're busy speaking English and understand. Whereas in the village, your mothers cannot go to the farm. And you're not ashamed of yourself. You're not ashamed. That is what Jesus will do. It is so-called Nigeria. Ask me why people are quiet. Why your pastors, even those in Ongwa in Aba, tell me why you will not go and condemn this woman's experience. The pastor of the woman said, that handbag she's carrying, how much do you have there? Bring it. Put it in my palm. Your plight doesn't concern them. So what you're doing is that you're wickedness from every side. From politicians who have. Fulani Caliphate, they left the northern borders open to allow their fellow terrorists to come in and take over our land. And any day now that we decide to go and confront them, you will see China TV, BBC, CBB won't come. Now they are killing all BBC will not come. Never. You won't see BBC, there will be no CNN, nothing, no one will come. But any day now, any day, you see what happened in Delta State, in Akwanam. You saw it. As soon as they be killing and raping, the moment we rose up to say enough is enough, channels was there the next minute they were there. We are all Nigerians. Don't move. Nigerians are living fast. This is the reason why we said no to elections. Because we know the quality of politicians on display. We know they will never speak. We knew that a time like this will come that would require leadership, strong leadership. And we also know they would fail. Have they not failed? Have they not failed? They have failed. To make matters worse, how they can open their borders in the north and people are coming in is just beyond me. That's an interview I want to play for you. I want you to listen to what this man has to say. Listen to what he has to say. And as I say, keep saying to you, if you are kicked off from my page, which they are doing, please go somewhere else. There are plenty. Just download any of the app and listen. Or go to YouTube and listen. They think they can frustrate us. Idiots. That's how foolish they are. Listen carefully. Listen.
So along the I saw you blocking the road.
He said, Hausa youths. Fulani headsmen, Hausa youths. So anybody telling you that the North is united, the North is talking rubbish. Because of what we are doing now, the Hausa youths are good up. They have now seen what we saw many years ago. Hausa. Have you heard of that before? But if you see all the atrocities committed against Fulani, because they're fed up. But you have some people who are supposedly Biafrans in Abuja talking rubbish that they want to be one night. One of us are running away. You want to come put your head in it, as usual. As Azikiwe did. And look at that. Your mother can no longer go to the farm. And you're not sure of yourself. Listen, please.
When I ask what is this, they say people are being killed.
Hausa are being killed. Are you listening? Hausa people are being killed. Hausa are being killed. Are you listening? Government is not doing anything. Why is the government not doing? Because there's no government. There is no power, no business. Are you listening? Nobody's there. They bring down your embassy in Ghana. Nobody's talking. Foreigners are coming in. They say with AK-47 to fight, to kill you in your villages. Nobody's talking. They go to Ngwa. They kill. They rape. They dismember our people. Nobody's talking. And you're telling me you have a government? Now, it is now that it actually dawned on me that let me tell you one thing. Your so-called daddy GOs, that is your pastors, your politicians, and your traditional, they are all working hand in hand. Now they can no longer sell us as slaves. Believe you me, if they had the opportunity of slavery, they'll start over again. Because they cannot sell us. The only thing left for them to do is to punish us as much as possible. To make our lives as miserable, as intolerable as possible. If we are dying, we can die. You're telling me that 40 years ago, even after the war, you will come into Igbo land, you will cut up a woman into 6 pieces, scatter her bodies everywhere, and nobody will do anything. Of course not. That is a sign of the times we're living in. This is the era of Gatron and Dushi. This is the era of 4-1. This is the era of head rigging. This is the era of family have come forth to take back in the zoo. And it's happening before your eyes. The man is saying it. Even houses are being killed. Now tell me what everybody should not rise up and say to these Fulanis. Who are the ones causing the problem? They're the Fulani that's doing it. Every other ethnic group is a peaceful group. I'm being honest with you. Remove Fulani, everybody is peaceful. Everybody is. Yoruba is, Oduduwa is peaceful. Biafra is peaceful by nature. Hausa is even more peaceful by nature. Hausa, they are peaceful people. Ask yourself, who are the ones bringing all this killing? This man is always planning. And they're going to need only 2 marks to go to school. Only 2. They only need to score 2 to go to school. Others will score 140. Has that ever dawned on you before? Do you now understand the mess you're in? And it is your responsibility, your duty, your responsibility to do something about it. Now listen, please.
Notice, a lot of headsmen that I talk to, they don't speak English.
I
don't speak Hausa. Because I said, came to me now. He said, he kept quiet. I said, where's the talk? He kept quiet. And I said, okay, select a product, you should speak in French. And they say, two French say, oui. Starts feeling comfortable. And as we talk, continue to talk, I found some of this from Mali. So from Mauritania. Now, what we are saying is...
Mali and Mauritania invading your land, coming to Abia State, going to Imo, going across Biafra and Bayel rivers, killing people at way. I have it. My God. Hey, these are black people. You astonishing. You people amaze me. This level of street somebody will exhibit. You start avoiding them for your own good. When somebody says, I am a Nigerian, avoid that person for your own good. If somebody says, oh, we believe in Nigeria, avoid that person for your own good. You're telling me that in a country of professors and lawyers and doctors and what I call backyard elite, people can come from Kenya, from speaking laissez-passer French, I don't know what it is. They can come into the zoo, travel all the way to Benue, go to Akatu and kill people because they are flying. So, in case you are wondering, those come from Mali, they are not just any, they are Fulanis from Mali and from Mauritania. Fulani, they come to your land to kill you. And on top, some idiots will come and tell you one Nigeria. And it's time we start stoning them. It's time we start stoning them. And to make matters worse, there are places now in AIT was reporting. Casino villagers now will pay monthly fees to bandits to evac. Who call them bandits? These are Fulani girls. They are not called bandits. They are terrorizing Hausa people in Katsina. Fulani bandits terrorizing Hausa people in Katsina. Why are they doing it? Because Hausas were foolish enough to allow them to come into their land 200 years ago. That's the result. There's something that some people want us to do now. What else is doing not good? All what is restricted polity. Talking rubbish. Restructure so that sometime in the future, and now where we're not paying the Fulani settlers in what's it called again? Nabunike. We pay them now to maybe go to stream to go and fetch water. You know, Obunike big time. Yeah, camped big time. And some idiots in the USA is claiming that from Obunike, they are just in the USA eating hamburger. Talking rubbish in America. Why this? How foolish they are. You know, that's something about us is that we don't see things or call it what they are. The ego of Obunike, telling land and giving the money to Fulani, Obunike is gone. Go there and fetch water, let's see. The same thing that the Hausas did, ignorantly and stupidly allowed Fulanis to come in. Today, they are as useless as the zoo itself. They are not paying this to be able. They are paying Fulani terrorists to be able to go and look for something to eat. In Nigeria, with a president, with a vice, with a chief of army staff, are you not daft? Are you not? Why won't I speak to you anyhow? Because you behave like a fool. I want me to give you respect. How is that possible? I'm asking you. How is that possible? How? Just tell me how. You're in a country with a president, and people are coming from Mali, from Mauritania to come and kill, and you keep quiet. And you're a president? What some of you are saying is that some of your criminal pastors are working hand in hand with these equally corrupt politicians who are not only corrupt but very mediocre. They don't have nothing. You don't have life, no liberty. People are evil, their mind, the same slave trade mentality. You know, a black man who sell to make a fellow black man suffer. It's what they enjoy most. Black people. That is the truth. If not, why would we be selling each other? Why did we sell our people? Now we want everybody to apologize to Africans. That's rubbish. Africans were the ones selling their own people. Nobody needs to apologize to us. I'm being honest with you. That is nonsense. Apologize for what? It was blacks that sold black people. If anyone is to apologize, black people from Africa should apologize to blacks in South America and blacks in North America. That's how to do it. We're the ones that sold people. If there's no market, nobody will buy anything. Now that all the supermarkets are shut, do you go out to buy anything? But if they open it, you go there, you buy something. It was Africans that opened the shop to say, we have our wives and our children to sell. And the world came to buy them. And sometimes when they come and there's no one to buy, they take it by force. That's how it is. Just like the way you have looting everywhere. Isn't it? If you go to buy something in the shop and they tell you, oh, we're not going to sell to you, you loot the shop and you need something, you take it. That's how life is. Africans opened up their land to say, I have my uncles to sell. Some will say, oh, I want to sell my mother. I don't have, let me sell my mom. And they say that without conscience. I want God to love you. You must be insane. That is the truth. Africans should be apologizing to black Americans for slave trade. Leave Barclays alone and leave Church of England alone. If you have no market, they will not be coming to buy from you. That's the truth. I am going to release our inquiry lines again, please. So if you see anything going wrong where you are, I want all of you to go and tell your pastor, your reverend father, whoever, your imam, tell them next week Sunday, it's an assignment, they must speak out. If they don't know what to talk about, we'll tell them what to talk about. They must speak out and condemn what is happening. They must speak out and tell the truth that there is nobody in Asorok. Once they do things will be better for everybody. If they fail to do it, don't give them no offering. No offering! No offering. They must speak the truth. That microphone, they must speak the truth. You see them, publish those pictures, please. You see the pictures, they keep flooding. When Jubril was there, they were going to see Jubril. Bishops, they go to see Jubril. They know that boy is not some Buhari they met in 2015. They know it. And they're carrying Bible, carrying the word of God, deceiving themselves. And I'm asking them, that boy you're going to see, is that Buhari? All these bishops going to Asorok, that boy is there. Of course, Jubril, he has not run away. The little, that comedian who is there now, that they gave a wife to last week, is that Buhari to you? That little boy is not even up to 25 years old. Is that Buhari to you? You're carrying the word of God, Bible. Some of you are carrying Quran. Come on to speak the truth. Because you don't want to speak the truth. And Buratai was able to call, not Buratai, who is there now? Maybe Ibrahim Gambari will send their Fulani hit squad in the army to come and kill you. And nobody will enjoy your private jet. And your choristers. You think we don't know? We know now. That is why you cannot speak the truth. And when I tell you the truth, you find it difficult to comprehend. Very difficult to comprehend. The pictures are there. Those that tell you that, of course, in a way, Buhari is a Messiah because Biafra is coming. I pray 7 times a day. And every day I tell God Almighty in heaven, I want my own Biafra this year. I don't want it this year. I want Biafra in 2020. I don't want 2021. No, this year. And this is a time for us to work very hard. Do exactly as I tell you and you see what will happen. We must move to Twitter. You can see what Facebook is doing. We must move to Twitter. Before they buy up Twitter as well. We must move. They've done this thing to us before. In Israel, they bought the company using a cover in America to buy it. And they tell me, we must go to Twitter now. Because something will happen this year. We must go to Twitter to let the whole world know our story. If the world, they have all the money, they have all the media, the Yoruba media is working with them. Because Yoruba is half Islam, half Islam. So Yoruba will always work with the Fulanis. Anybody telling you Yoruba will come and work with you is deceiving you. Yoruba will always work with Fulani forever and ever. That is the fact of life. That's the fact of life. Understand that very, very well, please. Please publish the numbers again on WhatsApp, please. WhatsApp only calls. Tell us what is happening in your church congregation. Tell us why your pastor, tell us what the pastor said when he went to the pastor and said, Pastor, why don't you condemn what is happening? And condemn the fact there's somebody in Asorok. And then you let us know what your pastor says. The numbers are there, please publish it. Publish the number, please, on my page. On my Facebook page, please publish it. Somebody wrote very moving people. I should say what I'm saying that insults them. But Americans bought you as slaves. The Europeans bought you as slaves. The 2 great religions of the world bought you as slaves. Christianity bought you, Islam bought you as slaves. That is the fact. You may want to deny it. You're talking rubbish. But of course, the first slavery was sanctioned by the Pope. That is a fact, historical fact. Go and do your research. Than being a sentimental African buffoon who doesn't reason very well. Go and do your research. You'll understand it. The Pope gave his... In fact, go and Google it. It was the Pope that gave authorization. There's nothing wrong with slavery. And I don't blame him. You had people to sell. Some of you wanted to... You saw that story your fathers. Some of you came from the village of slave dealers. Some of you in Abuja. And those of you petition writers with your blue, red, and black. Looking for who to do boy for. I have something to write. I have an idea to write against IPOB. Maybe you give some money. My rate has run out. So you don't know that. Some of you don't know. Some of you don't know That is why you are wallowing in ignorance. Because what I tell you is the truth. The truth you will not hear from anywhere else in the whole world. You can nobody nobody will dare tell you this very truth. I told America, I went to America and I was in Capitol Hill and I told them, every ambassador you send to Nigeria is a multi-millionaire because they see the truth and they lie to the State Department. I told them in America, face to face, your ambassadors to Nigeria are corrupt. They were shocked and they were looking at me. You said, what is fine? I said, yes. Yes, 100%. Every ambassador from a major country going to Nigeria is a millionaire overnight. They buy their silence. If you go to the desk now, from Abuja to State House, from Abuja to the foreign, I don't know what is wrong with this mad people. Everywhere, I'm going to turn this line off completely. For these people are mad. They are insane. And I will block them. Never again will there be all this line. Never, these people are mad, insane. Unbelievable. I have never seen. So that is why Iranians are making a mess of their lives. I don't understand them. I just don't understand them. And I will never understand them until Biafra comes. Perhaps they'll not be able to call again. Forever and ever. That's how it goes. You're deliberately trying to disrupt the flow of this very gospel that we're preaching. This page is about to be unpublished. We will unpublish it. We are suppressing people coming to your page. We will continue to suppress it. These are Yorubas are the ones doing it. Yorubas are the ones doing it. Very, very sad indeed. Extremely sad. That's how it is with black people. That is why if you... Do you think we start selling each other today? Sometime, if there is no Oyibo to buy, like those that claim they are from... now it's now South. If there is, like a Green Clark, if there is no Oyibo to sell people to, let me sell you to Fulani. That's how they make their money. All those talking about one. That is where they make their money. Of course, it's Ecuador. It's about another place. It's Ecuador empty, not Chile. Ecuador empty. Thanks for the question. I don't say about Chile. It escaped my mind. I didn't quite remember. It's Ecuador. He was taking it. That place he took refuge in, Ecuador, that belongs to Ecuador. I remember, do you know Prince Philip, the man you have now as the husband to Her Britannic Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II? He was born in UK. And then when he was about to be born, the Prince Philip of Yugoslavia was born. The hospital where he was born was converted into a Yugoslavian embassy. It was declared Yugoslavian territory because the hospital was named Yugoslavia, so that the child prince can be there. So in the future, his throne. That's how things are done. Every embassy is your own. If the police pursuing you, the embassy, that's their face. They can't go in. Ecuador, not Chile, please. I stand corrected. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. The name Ecuador skipped my brain. Thank you very much. A lot of people are calling in to say, I don't want to don't call this no distraction. No distractions. And to tell us in which your pastors will never preach about. Remember the man called Magu? Remember what I told about? A while ago, I told them, I have not what is happening now is nothing. They're still holding Olisametu. And I told them, the more you hold Olisametu, the more mess you'll be in. Now, USA has opened investigation into Funtua and the rest of them. And Magu is in trouble as well. And I remember telling you live on air that Magu of HCC is a thief. I said my justification for calling for the release of those of KANU is because those that claim they are prosecuting, they are thieves themselves. I told you live on air here. And now what has happened? Man is now writing to the presidency. Nobody can remove Magu now. I can remove him. That's nothing. He says that, listen to this. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, has recommended to whoever they are calling Buhari to sack Magu of FCC. What did he do? He was diverting funds, which means looting the loot, and also insubordination. EFCC Magu, a Fulani man, is a thief, is a criminal, is a robber. But he put Olisametu in jail. Put all Joseph Kalu in jail. Put all Joseph Kalu out. I know this must come out. This is only the beginning. It's a fun tour. By the time we are done with the foreign candidate or Emirates, none of you will go to the US again. All your stuff will be frozen. I told you, that executive order Trump signed, you don't know what it means. Some of you don't know, because of course we don't read. Tomorrow's trying to value occasional black people because we have failed to reason. And because we have failed to reason, there is no way I'm going to support evil. It's not possible. And when you are in the country where somebody who scores 2 out of 150, they score you. And the president, somebody who scored 138, they say you're part of the 5%, you will not even consider you. And you're in that country. And you're supporting the country. How do you want me to describe you? How, I ask you, how do you want me to describe you? The list has come out. You'll be like Southern Sudan. I say yes, so maybe Biafra be like Sudan. Southern Sudan is the fastest growing economy in the whole of Africa. The fastest growing economy in Africa. The fastest growing economy in Africa is South Sudan. Because they're free from the Janjaweed of the North. And you're telling everyone, what we want is a restructured Nigeria. We are talking rubbish. Nonsense. Has broken this. What do you want God to do for you? Is it God to come and do a miracle and buildings will come out and Biafra next way? I've given an example with Jericho, the fall of the wall of Jericho. Elohim just walk around the wall 7 times. That's all. I'm asking you, you're not going to walk around that rock 7 times, so with your 2 feet, no? Go to Twitter. We need millions of people on Twitter. And then you see how we're going to collapse the zoo. Just there's nobody there. There is nobody there. There is nobody. There is nobody there. You do as you like. Don't you know that? That's the end of the zoo. The people holding Nigeria are Yoruba Muslims who are intimidating the Yoruba Christians to align with their fellow brotherhood in the north. We have a pig somewhere, with his, snout in the trough, a pig. Yes, you are here. That's all. So Biafra land is free. We are on our own. We have some traitors, that is true. We have, Ohanese has been established as a treacherous group of, how can I describe them? I have no words to describe them. The day their evil will make bare for all to see, that day you will know that these men they don't deserve to live. I'm telling you the truth. Because of them, that is why when your mother goes to the farm, they rape her. Your mother will be raped. If our mothers tell us what they encounter in the farms, understand that very well. South Sudan, number 1. Rwanda, number 2. Ivory Coast, number 3. Cote d'Ivoire, number 3. Number 4 is Ethiopia. Number 5 is Senegal. 6 is Republic. 7 is Uganda. 8 is Kenya. 9 is Mozambique. 10 is Niger. Niger, anyway. Burkina Faso is number 11. That is 2. A Fulani woman that went to school with only 2 is in charge of your finance. And you want to be considered as a developing country, you are insane. It never happened. No president either. Your pastor will not tell you about this because let me tell you the truth. No amount of Holy Ghost fire can give you a job. The world is not like that. No amount of Holy Ghost fire or quoting of the Bible can give you accommodation. You can stand on the road, that's your potholed road. Your pastors should tell you the truth. It is government that creates the enabling environment that allows jobs to be created. I will teach this something. You see the railways that are building over the zoo, apart from that, I was the person that gave them the idea when I was in at DSS. I gave them the idea to build railways. Me, NNAMDI KANU, I told the Nigerian government to go and build railways. I told them, they were wondering how they can get employment. I gave them the idea, personally I gave it to them. But let me give them another advice. Maybe they are too corrupt, they will not be able to understand or implement it. It is called, I've preached this before, political economy. Political economy is the marriage of politics and economics. Now ask yourself, how did China become a major power in the whole world with so many entrepreneurs, billions of them? Are you thinking that all those people, they just transmuted from communism into capitalism overnight? Where did they get the capital from? That is the key thing as an entrepreneur. Where do you intend to get your initial capital from? In a country that is just emerging, what you need to do is you go through the phase of your development called the political economic phase, where the political aspirations match the economic potentials of that very nation. You marry the two together. In other words, you find the government financing capital projects, and those capital projects are built by the companies in that very country so that the money circulates. That is why in China you have Chinese firms, engineering firms, building skyscrapers, building roads, building bridges, building railways, building sewer systems. So the money is in, unlike the zoo, where you graduate nearly 10,000 engineers every year. But Julius Berger, a joint has a contract for life. Do you understand? So even your engineers who have the opportunity to learn to improve on their skills, they end up in Canada. Do you see how we've done life upside down? The meaning of life doesn't exist. It doesn't exist anymore. That's how we are. That was why people are now beginning to realize that Aso Rock is empty. Your GOs, they know about this, but they will never ever utter any word. Because, believe it or not, some of these pastors, I said some of the battles, they depend on corruption in the false federation of Nigeria to continue living large, buying aircraft at their own expense. Let me tell you one thing you don't know. If we do the work we are to become free today, every mega Yoruba church will collapse. Do you know why? People will focus all their energies on developing the land for everybody. And once people realize that prayer and fasting alone cannot give you a job, prayer and fasting cannot give you a house, prayer and fasting can never ever in your life give you a good road, they will abandon them. So for all these corrupt pastors to remain relevant, they need corruption in Nigeria and they need the broke system in Nigeria in place. Simple logic. Simple logic. Because are you telling me people be busy? If Oduwa were to be free today, or Biafra to be free, you will have time to go to church. We'll work 24 hours a day. We'll work every day, we'll work. And then, only then will you realize that the knowledge of God is personal, not something that's going to tell you about. It's personal. Very, very personal. Very personal. Why should a man of God, I ask you, why should a man of God be afraid to stand up to say that the demolition of the Nigerian embassy is an affront? Affront. People will look at it, I don't know where, but they are all graduates. So some of them have PhD. Somebody will have to sit down and ask yourself, why would a restricted area be breached? Not only that, and the buildings destroyed. Why? And the president of the country affected hasn't said anything. What sort of human beings are you people? What sort of human beings are you people? What sort of human beings, I ask, are you people? I don't understand it. I just don't understand it, and I will never understand it until everybody begins to reason like a human being. Until we begin to reason like human beings, I'm telling you. Right now we don't. We do not reason like human beings. We don't. I tell you, it's disgraceful and very shameful. Somebody wrote to me and said, please try to be kind. There are many people that want to listen to you, but you insult people a lot. His name is Victor, because I read every comment on my page, and I do. It's Victor Linus. He wrote, NNAMDI, we want you to speak politely. We want you to be ruthless and insultless tomorrow. He was writing yesterday. Remember that thousands of people are watching you. I thought I've said millions of people are watching. He said thousands are watching you. Try to be polite. And I made myself a promise to this man called Victor Linus, actually writing. I said, I will be polite. But before I came on air, they had killed a woman and spread her body parts of place in Biafra land. Our mothers can no longer go to the farm. The Zoo Embassy in Ghana, no speech from the president. No one is saying anything. Instead of a president, you have now the presidency. The head of EFCC, everybody can still as they wish. Why won't I insult those who are tolerating such intolerable behavior? That's what I'm asking. So you see, victims is not my fault. As long as we continue to be stupid and foolish, it's my duty to continue to call out our people, because anything you do that is foolish, I'll tell the whole world. This is the reason why we are still undeveloped. There was something that I came across and I was shocked. I posted this down 2 days ago. Actually, I did. Let me drink some water. I posted something on my page about Papua New Guinea. How they're doing black there. Something struck me. Why is it all over the world? Where people are suffering is always black people. Why? And then it came back to what I used to say all the time. The way we reason is flawed. That is number one. And number two, Africa is nothing to write about. Black Africa is a disgrace. And as long as Black Africa is a disgrace, black people will continue to be disgraced all over the whole world. And Africa will remain in darkness until the light is Biafra is allowed to switch on, more or less. Until Biafra is switched on by virtue of independence, Africa will continue to dwell in darkness. And every black person anywhere in the world is a fair game. People can do to them whatever they like. I want it posted, please. The community, black people in Iraq, these are Iraqis, so they are black, of whom many are descendants of African slaves. We saw them also to Iraqis, as I told you before. Arabs came, they bought us. Europeans came, they bought us. Arabs that came to buy us brought Islam to us. We swallowed it hook, line, and sinker as the Europeans, after buying us, taking us on the cheap, they gave us Christianity as compensation. That is why today you have a community of black people, descendants of slaves. They are in Iraq, and they are crying also. They said, what happened to George Floyd? They too are suffering in Iraq. Iraq of all places. There are blacks there. How did they get there? Through slavery. And who's black people in Africa? And you want God to love you. That is why the Bible you're carrying, sometimes you're wasting your time. What God wants you to do, you have not done it. True repentance can only come by setting the children of God free. Until that happens, your daddy will not speak out against the evil happening, because he is a direct beneficiary. He is benefiting from the corruption in Nigeria. Without corruption, how do you have mega churches? How? People they are suffering. People are in pain. That is hunger. So they have to go somewhere to look for a miracle. When you're comfortable and you're very wealthy, then only can you worship God with clarity of mind and a sense of purpose. Not when you're hungry. You do anything to survive. If you say, give me that hunger that you have now, so that God will bless you tomorrow, you have food tomorrow, you will give to the person immediately. That's why they preach prosperity. They don't preach salvation, they preach prosperity. God said, God multiply you, I'll give you all the riches. And they are flying in their private aircrafts. And you can't even go to the farm to go and harvest cassava, to fry it, to sell, to buy it next week. And if you give them a take, they see all this evil happening, they say nothing. I'm saying it now, and I'm saying, we black people need to apologize for our role in slavery. We started the selling of people. We did. Africans did. Africans must apologize. Not Europeans or Americans. So in our next life, we'll learn how to value life. I've shown it to you in the book of Exodus. So the day we started selling people through the coastal region of Biafra land, through your land, selling them, that was the day that God said bye-bye to Africa. That you people, you are the only people in the history of humanity to commercialize the sale of your own people. In the history of the whole world. I'm about to against the word of God. I want God. I think you're something insane. You don't know God. That means some of you don't know God. You don't know the God you claim you worship. You don't know Him. You have no idea. And how to pray. Here's your commandment. Do not sell anybody. It's here in Exodus. If you sell, your punishment is death. We're not dying today. selling our people to Arabs and to Europeans. And you still have the temerity to get up and to say Black Lives Matter. Matters to you that sold them. Have you repented? You that sold them for Africa, have you repented? Have you repented yourself? You're still selling them. The only reason why you say is because there is nobody to buy. I'm sorry, in fact, we are still in Libya. I want to be so in Libya. Where is this your moral? Where is this your right indignation? Where is it? How come you're not morally outraged about what's happening in Libya? That's happening in Libya right now. Right this very second. What have you done as a black man? A black one. Why have you done nothing? You've done nothing. You go and pray and fast. So God will bless you as He blessed your neighbor. Without it work. Without him taking money. Let me tell you something. Let me help grow this people. That money you pay as tax every week, go and invest it in the Lagos Stock Exchange. Put that money there, and after 1 year, you go back and see that is correct blessing. You see it before your eyes. You see God blessing you immediately. All the money you gave to your daddy GO to buy jet, how did you benefit from it? All the money you gave to daddy GO to go and buy private jet and build mansions, how did you benefit? The money you give, we are fighting for Biafra, and Biafra will come, you will see it. That is what is getting you. The money you get to GO, what is it going to get for you? Unless you have to get into the kingdom of heaven, you need to buy your way through. That it? Of course, the people complain that the Facebook is cracking very seriously. Of course, it will crack. It will crack. Let us stop this. Please go to YouTube and you go to Radio Biafra stable. I don't know if Radio Biafra Live is stable. Radio Biafra is stable. I think it is stable. My page is at tremendous attack. Heavy attack. We are going to come out of it and then restart it all over again on Facebook, please. Try to bear with us. We are going back. They can't handle this gospel, can they? They cannot handle it. They can't. How can they handle it? They can't. Because they are criminals. They are criminals. They are criminals. They cannot handle it. They can't handle it. We are going back live on my page, of course. We are going back live on my page. We are going back on my page. We are back on my page. On Facebook, KANU, the world is listening. The time now is precisely, I think, in the desert land of Biafra, it is 9 p.m. 9 p.m. in the desert land of Biafra. I think they have shut it down altogether. Anyway, I think they have shut it down. I don't think. They don't want me to broadcast on my page anymore. Oh, I think they're coming back now. They're coming back. Yeah. Zoo. And the other side kicks. Radio Biafra is very clear. They're saying somebody, EMANCIPATION, said I should continue. Yes, Abaneje. Yes, they said I should continue. Radio Biafra is loud and clear. So Radio Biafra is okay then. It's okay. That's very good. Then we are back again on my page. We are back on my page. I don't know. Now they're not showing me how many people who are listening. They can't tell me how many who are listening. That is how terrible it is. They are panicking. They are panicking. They are panicking. Because they have lost it. They have lost it. They have lost it. And we have won as usual. The whole world is listening to us and they're panicking. There are blacks in Iraq, they are suffering, or the blacks in Iraq, and who is responsible for the suffering of black people in Iraq? Africans that sold them, please, not Arabs. Africans that sold Africans into slavery should be ashamed of themselves. They should themselves. They ashamed themselves. Everywhere else is very clear, apart from my page. They will continue to preach. We must preach this very gospel. Now there was a man that attempted to speak. And I keep asking, why are you silent? I asked the pastors, the religious leaders, those that claim that how come all of a sudden the Sultan of Sokoto is no longer talk? I tried to speak and he said that Buhari is not active anymore. That is a pastor trying to come out as a man of God to say Buhari is no longer alive. He said Buhari is no longer active, and they accept. And he said that the government will meet a greater challenge from IPOB. And I'm saying, of course they will. 2020, hey, they will, oh, they must. They must. I'm planning to live this year. This year. What am I doing in the zoo? What am I doing in the zoo? What am I doing in the zoo? They brought that one to say, South, you know, at least as I wrote, we have killed them of the disease of Nigeria. Darkness is darkness. And that is why the waters of the Niger Delta, as they used to call themselves, is black, polluted and very filthy. Because you are Niger Delta, which is black. Nigeria, which is darkness itself. Double darkness, only you. And you want to be developed. You have cursed yourself already. Now they have run to South. Now this is telling you that the zoo is on a time bomb. Why would it be on a time bomb? Why not, I ask? Of course it would be on a time bomb. Why shouldn't it be? If you're going this year. Oh, the zoo. Anyway, let me not say much. And we continue to force the lectures on these critical areas. Given that subconsciously of the facts of life. And what they've done is to wrap this very cleverly in this religion. They put it in religion, they wrap it. And that completes it. They get something and they put it in religion that completes your idiocy. Religion cannot give us anything in life. It can only give you the grace of God. It cannot give you anything. Religion cannot give you nothing, absolutely nothing. The grace of God. And grace of God is not meant to religion. There are people who don't go to church, they don't go to synagogue, they don't go to mosque, and they are holy. Holy and those that go to all these places. If you don't know, let me tell you. We must continue. We need to continue. And as I said earlier, I want to crystallize, I want to substantiate the assertion I made earlier. I want to make it abundantly clear. They are attacking my page. My goodness me. Listen very carefully, please. England and the Bank of England apologized for historic slavery links. Anglican Church is saying today that the fact that they dabbled into slavery is a source of shame. Anglican Church, where they are baptized in. As soon as they stop to buy slaves to sell and make money, they told you Jesus is Lord. Hey, Monsieur G, black people, may the good Lord have mercy on us. Hey, no wonder they call us nigger, call us everything, relegate us the background, everything. What they do to us? And they get away with it. The Church of God. In that same, they come with the Bible, mind you. They brought good news Bible, the knowledge of Jesus Christ. And what is the Bible? The Bible comprises of the Old and the New Testament. And these people, these Europeans that brought us this Bible, inside that same Bible, in the book of Exodus 21:16, Deuteronomy 24:7, the same Bible they gave us when that Bible said, "You should not sell anybody." It's in the Bible. Because once you're a Christian, automatically you follow the ways of Jesus Christ, and then you're a Jew. That means you practice the religion of Moses. The same way that Islam, to an extent, practices the religion of Moses till tomorrow morning. That's what it means. That Bible that they brought and said, remember we used to call Bible the good news. This good news we are bringing you salvation through Jesus. Nobody's doubting that. But that Bible says you should not buy or sell anybody. After buying us and selling us and making money out of us, building beautiful cathedrals, beautiful churches, beautiful roads and cities, with our bones and our flesh and our blood, they said to us that the road to salvation, politically and economically, lies in the Bible, which is a lie. A big lie, of course it is a lie. Today the church is apologizing. Church of England is apologizing. The church where some of us were baptized is apologizing for demonizing us. This is what happened with the black people. It is not one priest or two, as it was with the Roman Catholics. Not one or two. The whole church sat down, maybe did their synod meeting, and decided it will be economically viable for the Church of Jesus Christ, of African Communion, to go and start selling fellow human beings from Africa. Make money. A church. And as they were selling it, they were establishing their personages, establishing their churches, telling us they brought us good news. Black people. Monsieur G. Black. I God, it happened. The Church of England, which is Anglican Church, Anglican Communion, apologize for their historic links to slavery. We are ashamed. So says the church. We are ashamed of doing something that God said you shouldn't do. And that thing was contained in the Bible you brought to us to say this is good news from Jesus. And that good news from Jesus said you shouldn't sell your fellow things. And you did. You made money from it. And after, I don't know, maybe 130 years, you're not apologizing. And we are still going to those churches. This UG black. If you want to debate anything I've said, you debate me. Don't hide behind your foolishness and ignorance. Debate me so I can swallow you alive with facts and figures. I'm ashamed, honestly speaking. When I tell you that, so all these years we've not read the Bible very well. That's what it means. Now, it's only now that the Church of Anglican Church is now saying, please forgive us. And I expect the Catholic Church to be the same. It was a Pope who announced slavery. A Pope, Catholic Church, who announced the truth. Historical fact. That is what I preach. Historical. Take your business statement to the grave. I don't give a damn. I preach it. Here is so good. Disprove me based on the points that I raise, not on your stupid village African sentiment. Have no time for that rubbish. Did Anglican Church dabble into slavery or not? The answer is yes. They condemned by God in the Bible, yes. Some will tell me, but the Bible said be loyal to your slave, be loyal to your master. That's because you're a black African man, you have no sense of reasoning. Do you know what is called Ohu? Have you heard about that before? Apprenticeship. That is what the Bible meant by an apprentice. Be loyal to the master, not slave. Not slave. I don't know where these people are coming from. Ibo. That's why you have Nabuku, my master or my lord. When you go to the when you go to our area and you're doing apprenticeship, that's what we call it. So it can be translated into slavery. It doesn't mean your person's property, no. It means you're serving a master. That's something like Lord. It doesn't mean that Lord in heaven. It means somebody you serve. That's the meaning of it. Some of us, we go to school, we don't even understand the. Sorry, I won't use the word minutia. Nuances of English language. We don't know it. We don't know it. But we are all intellectuals, aren't we? We are all intellectuals. I don't know what is happening. They are panicking. I don't know. Maybe they have shut down my page. The gospel is too hot, they cannot handle it. Darkness is fleeing. They cannot handle it. The children of perdition, the offspring of Lucifer cannot handle this gospel this evening. It's too hot for them. This is your Kuchinek. Disprove me on the facts, not your stupid sentiments. I'm not doing anything with it. I want facts. People will be run on facts and figures. For your information, we are the ones fighting for Christianity. I am fighting for Christianity. I am fighting for Christianity in me. Our forefathers, as I wrote very convincingly, never, our ancestors were not afraid of any subject. Never! Everything was discussed in the open. Then you are not prepared for Biafra then. That's what it means. You are not ready for Biafra. Am I asking you to believe in the nonsense that you believe in? Did I stop anybody from believing in whatever thing that you believe in? I am an Igbo man, an Igbo Biafran. And I grew up in the village. Not all this when I grew up in the township. That know nothing. I grew up in the village. Onyenachi, you as being your God. Don't have to say, oh, yes, which means that's going to give you a God. Even though I will tell you that. Sometimes a mother will lose a child. And you see people coming to console the mother and they will say, that was the decision my child reached with his God. Or yes, baby. Some of you did not grow up in the village, so you don't know any of these things. You have no idea what they are. Spirituality is different. We got village. Very, very different, I tell you. Oh, yes, baby. That is the decision he reached with God. Even your mom say it. Which means that everybody, spirituality and the knowledge of God is a personal thing. It is not a group thing. It is between you and your God. That is why somebody can have and go to the final shrine. But it's everyone. Now it's that was how they deceived you. That was why for nearly, should I say 300 years, you never knew, it never occurred to you that slavery is in the Bible. That God said no to slavery. Even the person that brought the Bible to you, he knew it was there because they wrote it. They gave it to you. Open the words. Oh, salvation is come from Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is salvation, yes. Of course, we know that. But then they never showed you where he said that what the English were doing was wrong. What the Same Anglican Church was doing is wrong. You give us Bible with one hand, you take us as slaves with another hand. Now you're apologizing. These are the people. Had people not debated religion, do you think Anglican Church would apologize? Had people not debated religion, do you think that all those pedophiles in Catholic Church would have confessed? Do you know how much Catholic Church paid in compensation? Good. So if they said, no, discuss religion, so that means you are now allowing pedophiles to watch our children. Because I don't discuss religion. Who told that in Biafra? Who gave it to you? Everything will be discussed. In everything will be discussed. We cannot hide under superstition and ignorance to talk rubbish. In Biafra, everything will be out in the open. That of control we want to run. For your information. For your information. You can believe in whatever thing you want to believe in. That is your business. That's your business. I'm just giving you facts. That the religion you believe in through slavery, they took you as slaves. For your information. Go and read it. Read up on it. Information. In my having more women who stay by the river, they worship a goddess. That's why you go to see one who snake on the wall. Does that make them a less of a human being? No. That is who they want to worship. That is their business. Don't impose it on me. Impose mine on you. Don't impose yours on me. That's all. I don't know how you can explain this all the time. For your information. You go to church and hand over your hard-earned money to somebody to go and buy a private jet. Are you not saying? Are you not an idiot? In the name of paying tithe. Are you not a complete idiot? And when I bring palliative, you want to share from the palliative. How many did the pastor bring to you? How many pastors shared palliatives? I'm asking you. How many shared it? I spent 50 million. How many of the pastors shared palliatives? I'm asking you. Go and buy the more jet now. All the things being done is nothing. They depend on newspapers writing their statement for them. As we are suffering, IPOB is suffering, spending over $100,000 every month, fighting the Satan that is zoo, fighting for the lives of Christians. I've published a letter that I wrote many times to Trump and to Pompeo that prompted, in fact, in life, no, there are other people who are working. Let me bring up a place before they start complaining tomorrow. I send them the KANU to glory for something. I write, you will see Christianity. Every blessed day I fight for Christians. Every day. You are a Christian. Are you on Twitter? How many times have you seen any word to say Christians are dying? Are you asking you? A whole Christian Association of Nigeria is not on Twitter. I'm the one that tweets for them. And people are dying, they cannot do anything about it. They can't do anything about it. That is how that some of them are. There are good men, of course. There are good men, of course. I'm not saying that. If I also speak and say yes, not he's outspoken, I said it. He's outspoken. He's a Catholic bishop of Sokoto. Hassan Coker. Very outspoken. He spoke again yesterday. He speaks out. Most of the priests that helped Biafra tomorrow, they're all Catholics. I like them. I respect them. It doesn't mean if I say something wrong, I will say it. Please. Please. Alleged Christian, let me remind all of you, I want to put it. Alleged Christian persecution. Presidency accuses IPOB of misleading the United States and the United Kingdom. Not KANU. IPOB. IPOB. The presidency of ZU. We did a lot of work. And it's still ongoing till now. And some idiots will rise up and stupidly and ignorantly try to accuse us of being anti-Christian because they're foolish. Very foolish. Foolish. What I have for Christians in Nigeria, all the bishops put together have not done half of it. I can never do not $1 billion yet. Over $100,000 every month. And instead of some of you to be grateful, you're talking rubbish. See if you're insane. Who is fighting for Christians if not IPOB? Who is fighting for Christians if not IPO on a consistent basis? Because you people are you fight and you give up. Why on Twitter? Because you cannot do selfie on Twitter. It's a serious platform. Twitter. So you know that you can reach world heads of state right there. Goodness me. When the ZU presidency says IPOB is having this matter on their head and lobbying governments of the world. Some of you did not say it. You didn't say it, did you? We are spending our hard to try to make your lives better, to keep you safe in the zoo, and you're not grateful. You cannot be grateful. Something that people has never done and can never do. Are you telling me that Adebo, any of these people can bring out $3,000 a month to lobby to fight for you? I'm asking all the Christians in the super Nigeria. Tell me the church that will bring out 100,000 every month to lobby and to fight for Christians. How many of you will? IPOB does it every month. Yet you're not grateful. Typical black people, ungrateful people, a country of hypocrites. That was all your so-called NGOs that were there, and IPOB was proscribed as a terrorist organization. Yes, you all were. Did you say? Did you? No. But the is everywhere, killing, raping, murdering people. They're not a terrorist group. But IPOB. Because light is in us and there is darkness in most of you. Darkness. Most of you. And you're afraid of the truth. I will tell you the truth. Look at Mali, reported by New York Times. Ordinary Mali, Mali, on Friday, people came out asking for the president to resign. They've had enough. But in the zoo, can you do it? I want to pose a very simple question in the zoo. Simple question. What do you think would happen if all of you were to come out tomorrow morning? All the NGOs in the zoo called Nigeria were to come out tomorrow morning and to say, enough is enough. Let everybody go on the streets and protest. The zoo will come to an end and your life will be better. But they will never do it. They will never ever do it. Do you know why? Because your daddy GO benefits from corruption. Because the reason why they get tired from you is because you are poor. Mentally poor. That is why they do that. Our problem is numerous of black people. Do you see Togo? I want to use Togo as an example. Do you see ordinary Togo? Togo, ordinary Togo. Togo is a very fine example of the depth. I do promise Levinos that after today, of course, things will be different from Wednesday onwards. I will encourage our people, black people all over the world. I will encourage them. Let me do that thing that some of them say I should do. But for tonight, I will say the truth. Look at Togo. Do you know that Togo was once a German colony? Germany used to own Togo. They used to speak German as their lingua franca. And in 1945, after the war, they used Togo to compensate France. In 1945, they were handed over like a panapana, handed them over like a prostitute over to France. Their lingua franca is now French. Hey, black people, black, this UG, black. And I'm telling you, if the world decides tomorrow to hand them over to Sweden, they will be Swedish. Only in Africa. And when you challenge them and say to them, the reason why they can hand you over like a parcel from what is because of the way you reason, they don't understand it. They think you hate them. They think you hate Christianity. I'm telling a black man, the way you reason is flawed. To give an example of the business of man. Before it was now it's French. Are we okay at all? Oh, dear me, unbelievable. And we're not the same one. I'm from South. I'm from East West and South. Despite the fact that it has money. Somebody I was discussing with and he reminded me of something very important. Those who want to say, I asked somebody, why do you want an Igbo nation alone? He said, Igbo, where they speak Igbo only, so we can just. And I asked him, let us count. He said, I asked him to start. He said, nah. And then reminded of something. You see one, the figure one in our counting in Igbo Biafra. The same one is called Nge. It's called Otu. It is called Na. It's called Ofu. It's one. So does it mean that all the people that call one Nge or Na, they are not people, they are different? One is from Benin, the other one is from Ado Ekiti. In Ibe we say Nge. In what they say Otu Na. So some people are from maybe they come from Jukun. Do you see how peace of that language is not the determining factor as to who you are. For us, if your mother is to be Scribe, you're one of us. Because culturally we are affiliated. But for affinity, as the case may be. We live in a space where, in the zoo, where historians deny us history. There was a time that my friend wrote something about. I've been having blessings. I've not told anyone. I've never even told him something about Yoruba. I'm not being Yoruba, but it's Ududua. It's in my mind, and I've been researching. You know, we read a lot. I've been researching, and I stumbled upon an old Biafra map, and it was very, very. To be honest with you, and I give it to them. I would say that some people know. Since Fanaka knows, the most people know. But I'm sure that most of the TV acts you have in Oduduwa land, they do not know this either. I even read some piece of attacked Fanaka because of it. Said, oh, you don't know where, in the zoo, when you're educated in the zoo, you reason backwards. When somebody makes a very serious allegation or advances a hypothesis, your job is to go and investigate before you start allowing your emotions to run wild and crazy. Like I said, God doesn't exist. It's an insultive word like Nyamri. And the funniest thing, it is true. I looked at this African map, old map. I can see Biafra very clearly on the eastern flank. And very close to the north of Kwara State, you have the Yariba. This is not something Yoruba on the map. It's not called Yoruba, it's called Yariba. Yarriba. But Biafra was spelled correctly. Even Benin was spelled correctly with Benin, Benin. Zaria was spelled correctly. Kanu was spelled correctly. It's only Katsina they called Katsina. Maybe Katsina is the emphasization. Maybe this is the correct. Every name was correct. Dahomey was spelled correctly. If Abone was spelled correctly. Africus was correct. But Yoruba was spelled Yariba. And very close to the north. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And that is the first time I'm seeing it. And I did a bit more research and I discovered that it's actually true. That the Europeans, according to this very man, the history of Yorubas, they wrote in 1897, that the Europeans, when they encountered Hausa people, they described the Yorubas as people who are untrustworthy. And the Yorubas did not change the name. They retained it. We send out ours. The same way we call them Aboki. You cannot see another Aboki or area is now known as Aboki. No. They gave us Nyamri. We said no. Not our name. We are Igbo or we are Biafra. Call it you like, but not. They called the Yorubas Yariba. Untrustworthy, unreliable people, and the Yorubas accepted it. Do you know why they accepted it? Because of the disproportionate influence of Yoruba Muslim in the lives of Oduduwa people. I told you, anything comes from Sokoto Caliphate, Oduduwa Muslims will swallow it hook like sinker. That's what happened. They lost the name. Now they're now answering the names of those who conquered them in a Lorin. And another thing is quite interesting, you know. It's quite astonishing. Is the predominance of Bahume, Yahan Cassiobi, Yakwahi Kikere, Yaham Wonki, Gabu in my cabere, Kawe Nabatia. Now you were not walking when I don't monkey, when I said I need a Kubutako one in the way, no. Now Biafra, now Bia, Dickies were Quang. I am not walking Nasi Yan in my final name. You get Yan Biafra in my 2020. N'ihi na obodo kwesịkwụsị mala ya n'iyi Biafra bụ onyinye nke gị nke inye ụmụ mmadụ dị ndụ anyị ga-ewere ya nna nke igwe were ya fee ofufe n'ụzọ pụrụ iche ihe anaghị eme anyị kwupụta nkebe eziokwu ga-esebede ngozi wee na-ekwu ya ma na-ekwusi ike si na anya onwe anyị bụ ụmụ Biafra bụ ụmụ Chineke ka anyị bụ anyị anaghị efe arụsị ụmụ gị ka anyị bụ onye nwe m n'ihi na onweghị onye ọbụla ala nsọ Biafra na-aza aha arụsị ọ bụ na anaghị ka anyị na-efe anyị na-aza Chinedu anyị na-aza Amarachukwu ụmụ gị na-aza Ikechukwu ụmụ gị na-aza Chukwu na-enye ụzọ niile dị iche iche ka anyị si wee na-ebuli aha nsọ ya elu site na aha nke anyị na-aza anyị wee na-ekweghị nkwa nna nke ebere dị ngọzi n'ihu ụwa niile bụ ndị na-ege anyị ntị na anyị ga-ewere Biafra nna nke igwe wee guzo ya n'elu iwu iri nke nyere nna nke ebere dị ngọzi. N'ihi na ọnwa mgbe ụmụ bụ ndị Izrel na mkpagbu n'obodo Ijipt, iwe ezie ozi wee sị na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Chineke nna nkwụsịrịla nke ndị agha, na ha ndị dị etu abụ ụmụ gị ha ga-enwecha ọzọ wee tinyere gị, ha ga-abụ isi ala wee nye arụsị ọbụla ma ofufe gị ofufe. N'ihi na gị onwe gị bụ Chineke nna dị ngọzi, ị chọrọ onye ọbụla gị na ya ga-ama aka n'ihu, ị na-eweta adịmahụ n'isi ndị niile ruo ọgbọ ha nke atọ na nọrọ bụ ndị kpọrọ gị asị, mana ịhụrụ anya gị na-adịgide n'isi niile hụrụ ọhụ okpu na iri bụ ndị dị etu a bụ ezinụlọ ndị hụrụ anya ma na-edebe iwu gị. Isi anyị jikwala ha nsọ ya eme akaja, n'ihi na gị onwe gị bụ onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna dị ngọzi, na ị gaghị agbaghara ka ha ara bụ ndị ji ahụ iwe n'ala ya n'iyi. Isi anyị cheta ụbọchị asaa n'ime izu ụka ma doo ya nsọ n'abalị isii ka mmadụ dị ndụ nwa ọ ga-eji wee rụọ n'abalị asaa ụbọchị ezumike ụbọchị wepụtara n'ihi gị n'ụbọchị dị etu onwe nyọrọ n'ime anyị nke ga-arụ ọrụ ọbụla anyị onwe anyị na ezinụlọ anyị ma ọ bụ ndị ọbịa bụ n'ibere etiti anyị na abalị isii ka gị onwe gị bụ onye nwe anyị ji wee mee eluigwe n'elu ụwa n'ime oke osimiri nke anyị ma abalị nke asaa iwe zuo ike. Ọ bụ ya mere iji wee gọzie ụbọchị asaa n'ime izu ụka ma doo ya nsọ. Isi anyị kwanyere nna anyị na nna anyị ugwu ndụ anyị wee ogologo n'ala nsọ ka nke kwere anyị na nkwa. Isi anyị egbule mmadụ anyị akwado iko anyị esila osi anyị agbala nwere gbadị mmadụ ibe anyị ejekwara anyị n'ezinụlọ nwoke ọzọ ma ọ bụ nwee mmasị ebe nwunye ya na ebe akụ na ụba ya nọ na nke dị ngọzi ka bụ iwere ezi Chineke ka nna nke igwe nke ụmụ gị gọpụtara n'ụwa niile iji wee mee ka ndị dị ndụ wee gee na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Chineke na bụ onye anyị na-efe wee na-edu anyị n'ụzọ ije. Ka amara gị na ebere gị wee zuo oke n'ime ndụ anyị, ka anyị onwe anyị bụ ndị dị ndụ wee bulie aha nsọ gị jụọ gị mama too oyi site n'ebighị ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise 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 mma mmadụ gị Chineke. We now proceed to unveil the truth this very day, that the world may know, because the zoo is crumbling. It has crumbled already. What happened in Ghana yesterday is just confirmation. Because this very year, the zoo will be decimated beyond human comprehension or recognition. Never again will the zoo exist. It's gone. We have not done anything. We have not commenced our march. We have not confronted the Janjaweed terrorists who are in our forests and in our farms. We have not gone out to meet those who are killing us. Yet the zoo is...